Hello, John Croner with Bullseye Trader, and I'd like to welcome you to today's Market and Holly update for Tuesday, April the 10th. And first thing I want to tell you about today is just to remind you about the test drive we're going to be having starting on April the 16th. That would be next Monday for the Trade Idea software. That's the software you see me primarily using here that powers Holly, the different scans, the charts, etc. And it is a 5-day test drive, all-inclusive pass for just $8.88. You can get your key right here at the bit.ly/test drive 888. That'll bring up this screen right here. You just click reserve your test drive, fill out your information, put in your credit card information, and you will be all set, ready to go. Then you can also, if you want to see a little video about the material and what all you get for the 888, and just go to the test drive open house, and that'll give you that information. So we'd be glad to have you join us, and we look forward to you joining us. I'll bring that back up at the very end as well. Let's get a quick look at today's markets. Well, yesterday we had that major pullback right at the last part of the day, right after President Trump's personal attorney's home and office were raided, and they seized all kind of information, and the markets fell pretty hard at that point. Well, overnight, President Xi of China came out and pretty much said some nice things, and that they were going to soften up on some tariffs, and they wanted to sell our cars and different products. So the market took a whole different approach, and we had a very, very strong day, which we are going to review right now. So if we look at the IBB, you can see here we closed near highs. The only trouble is we're still below many of the major averages here. We're just above the 10 EMA now. So we have a lot of work to do there. And you can see here the IBB, had a little bit of a rough morning, but after that it pretty much went straight up and closed on highs. The Qs, we had a little bit of a pullback in the morning, and then a little up and down, but for the most part it was a very, very good day. Same thing, we're above the 200-day here, we're above the 10, but we are below the 20 and 50. So we've got to make sure that we can get beyond those and get up. So we are still at the point where this market could go either way. And quite frankly, a lot of the things are pointing that it could fail. The good thing is the longer term weeklies and monthlies are still pointing up. So, we're just going to have to give it some time and see what happens. The IWM, good day there as well. You can see here we closed near highs, and you can see here on the 5-minute chart how nice that looks. The Dow, a little more iffy here. We got up, and we have a doji, but it still was not too bad. But we are above the 20 finally here. We've got the 50 that we're going to be knocking on its door. So hopefully this 20 will hold us, and we'll break through this 50 and continue our upward track. But once again, we're going to have to see what happens. This market has been so volatile. Every time the wind blows and we get a tweet or any bit of news, the market can change very drastically. So, I'm sure everybody has learned by now, if you're using some smaller positions with the volatility, you can get just as much of a move out of it. So I hope everybody is watching their accounts and being very careful in this market. If you're a day trader, you're probably loving it because the volatility is fantastic for you. Now take a look at the SPY. Nice day here. We're just knocking on that 20 and hit it, pulled back a little bit. So it's going to be important to see tomorrow if we break the highs of yesterday, or if we break the lows of yesterday. So it'll be important, what happens during the day, but mostly where we close the day out. So that's pretty much a quick look at the markets. Gold, was up a little bit. and TLT, it was down a little bit. So, we'll see what happens as time goes on here. Now, let's take a fast look at Holly. And in spite of the markets having a good day, Holly had a little bit of a rough time. Typically, when we have a gap up, Holly seems to have a little bit more of difficulty getting through. And so that gap up kind of threw her off a little bit. Plus, with the big pullback at the end of yesterday, she wasn't quite on her game. And there's a little more to it there, too. But first, let's just take a look at some basics, and then we'll get into some detail. The risk-off profit was a loss of $1.32. And you can see here she was kind of just chopping away, kind of even for a few hours, and then it was pretty much a steady loss. She got better for a little bit, but pretty much downhill most of the day for her. Now the risk on, though, she was doing real good. You can see here she was going up and up and up, and then at the end of the day, it was almost like the bottom fell out. Now, what's confusing is, as good as the markets closed, you would wonder why that might happen. So, let's go ahead and take a little better look into what happened there. First, let's look at my little Excel spreadsheet that I do every day and break down for you. And you can see here we had and I've got my numbering wrong. We actually had, let's see here. Maybe I don't. There we go. We'll just have to put it so we can see the whole chart. My apologies on that. But you can see here we had 4 short trades for a loss of 7 cents. We had 14 long trades for a loss of $1.24, giving us our total losses there. So, that's where the numbers were. If we take a look at the short trades, in fact, let's go ahead and just put, all the trades in here today. And there we go. There's all of them. And if we look at it from the timing perspective, Holly, and I'll get this to respond here the way I wanted to here soon. There we go. You can see here she was biased to the short side for the first 4 trades. Then immediately, she changed and went long. Well, that would coincide with the market pulling back for the first, half hour, 40 minutes, and then going up. And so she did adjust to that pretty well. And then she got into her long trades, which is the way the market went most of the day. The thing that got her the most was, if you take a look here, if we short by the stocks, she called this JNCE on 2 different trades, on 2 different strategies, on the float on and the power hour long. And unfortunately, and I'm not sure what happened, but you can see here in the last, 10, 15 minutes of the day, this stock pulled back. So that actually counted against her 2 times to the negative. So that adversely affected her numbers for the day. So she actually did a little bit better on risk on than what the numbers indicated, but that would be a little bit of an explanation why. Now, that pretty much does it for our updates for today. So once again, the test drive is at bit.ly/test drive 888. That takes you to this window right here. Click on reserve your test drive, fill out all your information, put in your credit card information for $8.88. Starting on Monday, you will get everything we have to offer. If you want to see more what that is, just go to this video right here. I'll have this all in the YouTube link for you as well. And always remember, follow us on our blog at Bullseye Trader, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and StockTwits, and make sure you hit this thumbs up button at the bottom here to like our video and share it with your like-minded friends and family. Thank you, and God bless.